Hi there. I am sitting here curled up in a chair in my room, and I thought that I would shoot another on the fly video, not with my tripod set up and the whole nine that I usually do, but just share from my heart because I've had a recent request from one of the moms connected to the Mentor for Moms community. And she sent me a heartfelt email. And basically, she was just outlining how she's trying to meet the needs of her children and she's trying to meet the needs of her husband and be there for him and be supportive of him and uh, making sure that she's giving him time and attention. And then she's also got her own interests and her own pursuits that she wants to be involved in. And but frankly, she feels drained and overwhelmed with just trying to meet all of the needs in her family. So she wrote to me and said, at what point is it their responsibility to meet those needs, my opportunity to love and serve them, times when I need to draw a line and say, that's it. And what do I do with all that? Because at the end of it all, I feel exhausted. So I was sitting with her question, thinking about it. And lo and behold, a situation came up in my own household where I was preparing for a full week this week of speaking engagements, which means a lot of prep work going into each engagement, preparation for the event coordinator, as well as my own preparation for what I want to say. And then afterwards, it's all the people that you just met. You want to reach out to them and follow up with them and also be a good steward of that connection and serving. So there's a lot that I was preparing for this past week. And my husband makes a comment and says, "Hey, I feel like, I don't have your full attention. I feel like I need a little bit more time from you. And I feel like you're halfway listening. And when we get in the bed at night and we usually have time where you and I talk or we'll spend some time together. And instead, once you like do your brain dump, you download all your thoughts in your notebook for the next day. And be sure and check out my other video if you're not sure what brain dumping is. I have a whole video that I talk about that. Um, then he says you would just roll over and you're like out. Like it's not even you fade off to sleep, like you're crashed and out. You're gone. And I want some more attention. Now, when he made that request, I would love to say that this loving, warm feeling came over me, and I was just like, oh, honey, I'm so sorry you felt that way, and here, let me do this for you, or let me spend some time with you. But instead, I was thinking, are you kidding me? Like, we just came off spending a weekend alone out of town, and I am here every evening. And though you've been working late and getting home later, I'm usually here and ready. I haven't been anywhere, and you're asking for more time just as I'm thinking, oh, I'm getting a flow and I'm getting prepared. You're like, hey, I need more time. Yeah, that was more where my thoughts were. It was not so, oh, hun. It was more like, what? Are you kidding me? And then right behind that thought, the email that I received came to mind, and I went, oh, okay, okay. I get it. Here's an opportunity for me to live out anything that I would share with you versus just telling you my opinion. Like, this is what I did. I had all of those feelings, and those are the things I wanted to say to him. But here's what I said. I rocked back on my heels. I calmed down. And then I said to him simply this: what can I do for you to make you feel loved? What can I do so that you feel the love, right? Because anything that I do it from a motivation of I love and care for my family, but none of it matters If what I do doesn't mean anything to them, if it doesn't have a sense of connection and meaning for them, then really, to them, it's just stuff. It's just activities. It's just dinner, or it's just a gift, or it's just time, or it's just driving them to an activity. It's not really feeling like a loving act. You understand what I'm saying? Because for them, that might not be what they really want deep down. So, being that I'm talking to my husband, I can ask. Sometimes that's more challenging with our children, especially if we have children that are nonverbal. We have to really look for their cues and look for what really connects with them because they might not have the words to express it. Is it a child who loves more to spend time with you, or they love for you to stroke their ego and really tell them how amazing you think they are, and telling them and noticing when they're diligent and faithful or friendly or generous and really pointing that out? It matters when you affirm them with your words. Or is it a child who loves just the tiniest of gifts? Just the tiniest thing that you could give them. You could just take a piece of paper, draw a heart on it, fold it up into a million different folds, pass it to that child, and their whole countenance lights up because you gave them a love note, right? It's looking for the cues from them. But with my husband, I could just be straight and just ask him, what is it that I could do that would make you feel loved? And what it came down to is that he wanted more affection. He wanted more intimacy. No shocker there, right, ladies? No shocker. And he wanted me to be more engaged and more excited and more um, initiating. He wanted me to show more initiative in that. And I went, oh, that's what you want. That's what made you feel loved. So the fact that I arranged a weekend for us to get away was nice to him. Do you hear that? He enjoyed that. But what really got him to the core is when he felt like I desired him and that I was pursuing him and that I was engaged with him in that way. That was what he was needing. And so I encourage you, if you have different needs going on in your home, ensure that you're meeting the felt need that they have, not the need that you perceive they have or what you want to give them, but what would make them feel loved. Secondly, I would say this. If there are things in your life that are taking your time, your energy, and they don't encourage the strength, the family connections that you want within your household, they have to go. They have to go. Because the price that you pay to be involved in them is too high. Anything that you're involved in should add to and strengthen the family. Otherwise, it's not a fit for this season. Meaning, if being on a couple of boards or groups, serving at your church, being involved with the Girl Scout group, and also being a part of a local choir, like just to give some ideas of activities. You're doing all of those things, but in the end, they're meaning that you're having to skip family meals, eliminate your time with the kids because you're getting in too late from rehearsal. They're already gone to bed, or your kids are going to have to stay up extra late to be out with you in rehearsal, which means they're cranky, they're not getting enough sleep. It's time to evaluate if this is the right season to be involved in all of those activities. Maybe there's a choir you can join that meets during the day, and then it's not so much of an inconvenience or outside of the routine that your family needs for this season. Hear me? I keep saying for this season because sometimes when I mention to moms cutting off anything, it feels so drastic and dramatic that it feels like forever. And they're like, that's like my thing. And what do you mean? And I'm going, just for this season. It's not forever. You can go back and join that choir. You can go back and serve in your church in that way. You can go back and be involved in things. Because let me be honest with you. As a mom with 7 children, when I'm at church and I hear them say that they have a need for help in the child care department, you better believe I feel like there's a big red arrow over my head pointing to me like this girl, this chick right here needs to be back helping in the child care community, helping out with the kids in one of the classrooms or all of them or whatever, right? And I'm not involved in the child care at my church at all. Here's the thing though. My kids aren't back there either. It's not like I'm checking in my kids and then I'm like, I ain't serving. Like my kids all sit with me in church. And 2 of my children actually go work in childcare. So really they've gotten 2 help versus just the one. But what does that allow me to do? It allows me to have the freedom to recognize that the way I serve right now is through teaching and training and speaking and videos and a book. That's not where God's called me to serve right now, is in childcare. Have I done it in the past? You bet. I've done it for years. I've worked in childcare. I've rocked other people's babies and played with their toddlers and helped out and served their little 3 and 4-year-olds. Loved it. But that season is not now. So I hear the need, but I don't feel the need to answer it. I don't say, well, that must be me. I need to go work in childcare again because they have a need. I just say, now I know what I need to pray for with the church. I need to pray for them to have workers in the childcare. I need to look at who I can recommend. And I could recommend a couple of my kids to get back there and help and serve in that way. And they're happy to do it. So if there's something else in your life that's getting so much of your time and so much of your attention that you no longer feel like you have what it takes to give and serve and care for your family, it's time to put that down for a season. Walk away from it. Disentangle yourself from it. Remove yourself back out of the commitments. Find replacements for yourself and step away. Because the needs within your home at this season are great. So the energy and the time and the attention that you put on that will be great. And you know me, so it's not going to be at the expense of taking care of you. So find that one thing that you can do that energizes and strengthens and renews you, and commit to that. And that thing will give you everything you need to go and meet the needs within your home. But anything above and beyond that pulls for your time and your attention is pulling for some of the most valuable resources that you have to offer right now. And the price that it's costing you is too high. So with that, find out what causes them to feel loved by you and cut off anything that is pulling from you to keep you from meeting those needs. I hope this has answered your question and really given you a something practical that you can use to overcome that feeling of I'm drained and yet they're still saying they need me. What do I do? If I didn't answer it, let me know. If you have further questions, let me know. I'm here to serve you. Talk to you next time.